Good afternoon, students. Today, let us discuss some of the previous competitive questions based on our electromagnetics lesson. Here is a question asked in IEEE 2002. As per the question, if a current is passed through a spring, that the spring will expand, compress, remains same, none of the above. These are the options. Suppose here is a spring. The spring is like this. So whenever we allow the current to pass through the spring, current will go like this. It will come down and it will go up. Again it will come down and it will go up. So it follows that trend and it leaves the spring like this. So if you observe clearly, the particular ring, first ring is carrying current in this direction. The second ring or second turn also carrying current like this. That means if you observe these two loops, they are having currents in parallel direction. You know that whenever two conductors are carrying current in the same direction, they will attract each other. Why they will attract each other? Due to this, magnetic field is into the paper here. As per Fleming left hand rule, current is upwards, magnetic field is into the paper, so it experiences force in this direction. Due to this wire, magnetic field is out of the paper. Here as per Fleming left hand rule, current is upwards, this is out of the paper, so force is like this. They will attract each other. Similarly, here also first loop and second loop, if you consider, currents are moving in the parallel direction. Parallel currents always leads to attraction. So the mutual attraction between these loops leads to the compression of the spring. So the spring gets compressed. This is the solution for this question. And one more question asked in same IEEE 2002 paper. Here there are two conductors. The first conductor is carrying current I1. The second conductor is carrying current I2. There is a small element of length dl on conductor 2. This small element is located at a distance, perpendicular distance r from the first conductor. Now the question is, what is the force on the small element due to the magnetic field of wire 1? First let me tell you what is the magnetic field due to wire 1. In wire 1, current is going upwards. As per right hand thumb rule, the magnetic field is into the paper here. This is the field generated because of the current passing in the first conductor. The strength of the magnetic field is given by, what is the strength of magnetic field at a particular distance from a conductor of infinite length or finite length? That is important here. So magnetic field at a distance r from the conductor we require. General formula is mu naught I by 4 pi d sin alpha plus sin beta. That is the strength of magnetic field here. This conductor is extended up to infinity, but you know this end, you don't know about the other end. Whenever you are talking about alpha beta, alpha tends to pi by 2, because beta is here. Beta. So what is the value of beta? Beta is nothing but 90 minus theta. So magnetic field due to the first conductor is mu naught. What is the strength of current passing here? I1 by 4 pi. The distance of the point is r into sin pi by 2 plus sin pi by 2 minus theta. So B1 is equal to mu naught I1 by 4 pi r. Sin 90 is 1. Sin 90 minus theta is cos theta. Sin 90 is 1. Sin 90 minus theta is cos theta. So this is the strength of the magnetic field due to a straight wire at a distance r from it. Okay. This is the magnetic field value. But we require force experienced by the small element. In this magnetic field, this element is available like this. Magnetic field is into the paper. This current carrying wire is like this. So current is going like this. Magnetic field is into the paper. So it experiences a force in this direction. This is the required force direction. We require the magnitude of that force. The force formula is I into L bar cross B bar. I into L bar cross B bar. So, what is the strength of current passing through it? I2. Length of the element is dl. Magnetic field strength is B1. Sine. What is the angle between them? What is the angle between L bar and B bar? B bar is into the paper. L bar is on the paper. So 90 degrees. Sine 90. Sine 90 is 1. So you need not to worry. So force is given by B1 I2 dl. Already we calculated B1 value. So mu naught I1 I2 by 4 pi r dl into 1 plus cos theta. 4 pi r dl into 1 plus cos theta. That is the solution for the question. One more question let us see today. This question is given in IIT JEE examination 2014 in integer type question in advanced examination. The solution is quite simple. It is on the basis of the formula learned by us. As per the question, there are two conductors. Both are carrying the same amount of current in the same direction, separated by a distance x naught with each other. There is a point charge which is located at a distance x1 from the first conductor, and it is moving with a speed u at a particular instant of time. As you know, when current is going like this, magnetic field at this point is into the paper because of the first conductor. At the same point, the magnetic field is out of the paper as per the right hand thumb rule due to the second conductor. You know that in a magnetic field, charged particle executes curved motion. The radius of curvature of this path followed by this is r1. I need to calculate the radius of curvature in the first case. In the second case, again the same set of conductors separated by the same distance x naught, but current having same magnitude is moving in opposite direction to one another in both the conductors. This is first conductor, this is second conductor. Now the particle again moving with u, it might be moving in some another path like this, may have some radius of curvature r2 in the second case. Here magnetic field might have magnitude b1 due to the first conductor like this. Due to the second conductor also, magnetic field is into the paper. Magnetic field is into the paper. Now the radius of curvature is r2. Direction I am not specifying according to the rule. Simply I am saying r1 is the radius of curvature in the first case, r2 is the radius of curvature of the path followed by the particle in second case. Now, we need the ratio of the radii of curvature in both the cases. As this distance is x1, this distance is x0 minus x1. You know that for an infinite long conductor, the strength of the magnetic field at a point which is located at a distance r is given by B is equal to mu naught I by 4 pi r sin alpha plus sin beta. Sin alpha plus sin beta. Here alpha and beta tends to pi by 2. Alpha comma beta tends to pi by 2 for infinite long conductors. Hence magnetic field is mu naught I by 2 pi r. Because 1 plus 1 2, it will go for 2 times. By knowing this formula, you can do the solution. And also radius of curvature is given by mv by bq. Here m is the mass of the particle, v is the velocity with which the particle is moving, b is the strength of the magnetic field in which it is moving, q is the charge on the particle. By knowing these two formula, we can solve this problem very simple. First, let me calculate net magnetic field in the first case as B dash, net magnetic field in the second case as B double dash. Okay, I want to calculate B dash and B double dash. So B dash is the strength of the magnetic field in the first case given by B1 plus B2. But B1 is into the paper, let me take it as minus. Out of the paper, let me take it as plus. It is like this. B value is given by the general formula mu naught I by 2 pi r. So mu naught I minus of by 2 pi x1 plus B2 mu naught I by 2 pi x0 minus x1. But we are given a condition, in this question. You are given that x0 by x1 is 3. So wherever x0 is there, you can write 3x1. Wherever x0 is there, you can write 3x1. By substituting 3x1 here, 3x1 minus x1 is 2x1. Mu naught I by 2 pi plus mu naught I by, it becomes 2x1. So 2 pi into 2x1. You can take mu naught I by 2 pi as common, x1, 2 pi x1 as common, 1 minus 1 plus 1 by 2. So it becomes minus 1 by 2. So minus mu naught I by 2 2s are 4, 4 pi x1. So this is the magnetic field due to the first conductor, first situation. Magnetic field due to the two conductors in the second situation, you can take like this, both are into the paper. So minus B1 minus B2. So same expressions, minus mu naught I by 2 pi x1 minus mu naught I by 2 pi into x0 minus x1. So minus mu naught I by 2 pi x1. In the place of x0, if I write 3x1, it becomes 2x1. So mu naught I by 2 pi into 2x1. So minus mu naught I by 2 pi x1, if I take common, minus 1 minus 1 by 2. So it becomes minus 3 by 2. Minus also I took common, so it becomes plus. So minus 3 by 4 mu naught I by 2 pi x1. In both the cases, if I take radius of curvature, mass of the particle is fixed, charge on the particle is fixed, velocity of the particle is also fixed. So radius is inversely proportional to the strength of the magnetic field. So R1 by R2 is equal to B double dash by B dash. So R1 by R2 is equal to B double dash by B dash minus 3 by 4 mu naught I by 2 pi x1 by minus mu naught I by 4 pi x1. Mu naught I by 2 pi, mu naught I by 2 pi, everything gets cancelled. 4 also cancel. Minus also gets cancelled. Answer is 3. Ratio of radii curvature is 3. So this is the solution for the problem. Very, very simple. Based on this solution, we may have the answer. Here, problem is looking quite complicated, but the solution is very, very simple. By knowing these two formulae, you can solve the problem very easy. Just make a note of that. Try to solve similar model of questions given in your book. Okay? Even you can download the previous questions from net. You can solve the problems related to the current topic. One more question asked in 2011 JEE Advanced. 2011 JEE Advanced. Okay. So the question, it is like this. A long insulated copper wire is closely wound into a spiral of n turns. Question says, a long insulated wire is closely wound into n turns as a spiral. The spiral has inner radius A and outer radius B. The spiral has inner radius A and outer radius B in xy plane. A steady current I flows through it. A steady current I flows through it. The Z component of the magnetic field, means B. At the center of the spiral is, this is the question. The spiral is lying in xy plane. The spiral is like this. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. The spiral is like this. This spiral is carrying current I. I is the strength of current passing through the spiral, like this. Okay. Now we are required to find the Z component of magnetic field. Z component of the magnetic field at the center of the spiral. This is the question. Options are given. I am not writing the options here. Simply I will give the solution. And you are given that inner radius is A, outer radius is B. This is the data given to us. So totally there are n turns. Total turns are n. All these n turns are distributed from radius A to radius B. they are located in a distance b minus a. So n turns are available on b minus a distance. For unit distance, n by b minus a turns are available. For unit distance, n by b minus a turns are available. For my convenience, let me take a distance r, and here I am taking a small element. So element width is dr. At a distance r from the center of the spiral, I took an elemental spiral of thickness dr. So number of turns available in dr element, in dr length, how many turns are available? Per unit length n by b minus a. For dr length, n by b minus a into dr. These are the number of turns available in b minus a distance. In b minus a distance, n turns are available. In unit distance, n by b minus a turns are available. In dr distance, n by b minus a into dr is the number of turns available. For a single loop, the strength of the magnetic field is at the center is B is equal to mu naught I by 2r, already known to us. If there are n turns here, n times of the field is available at the center. If there are n turns over there, magnetic field is given by B is equal to n into mu naught I by 2r, n into mu naught I by 2r. This is the general formula. For our element, as it is a small element, the strength of the magnetic field is also small. So dB is equal to the number of turns available in this element are n by b minus a into dr into mu naught into strength of the current is I by 2 into radius of the element is r only. This is the magnetic field at the center due to the small elemental length of spiral I considered. Because of the entire wire, if you want, you should do integration on both sides. Integrate on both sides. Okay. Integral dB is equal to, here constants I should keep outside, mu naught I by 2, n also constant, b minus a is also constant, integral dr by r is the variable. R varies from a to b, inner radius a, outer radius b. So mu naught ni by 2 into b minus a into integral dr by r is log r to the base e. So ln r limits are from a to b. If you substitute log b minus log a, log b by a. So mu naught ni by 2 into b minus a into log b by a to the base e. This is the net field due to the entire spiral at the center. But you are asked to find the z component of the field. What is the direction of field? Direction of field at the center of a loop is either into the paper or out of the paper. If current is going anti-clockwise, it is into the paper. It is going like this. Magnetic field is out of the paper. If it is going clockwise, it is into the paper. So it itself is the z component of the field. The answer for the question is mu naught ni by 2 into b minus a, mu naught ni by 2 into b minus a ln of b by a. Okay. So that is a very, very simple question. I hope everybody understood the solution.